How's it going, guys? So today I'm coming at you with maybe the biggest NASCAR Silly Season prediction of the entire century. Now this one's sure to blow your mind because I really doubt anyone's ever thought of it before. I have a lot of faith in these predictions, primarily because I really want these to happen, but from a logical standpoint it also does make a lot of sense. So first I think I should talk about Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan's new racing team that Bubba Wallace is going to be driving for next year. Now I think it's still a rumor, I don't think it's been confirmed, but I think the team's going to be called 23XI Racing. Now 23XI is basically just 23 was the number that Michael Jordan wore for the Chicago Bulls during his NBA career, and the XI part of it, I'm guessing, well, that's just 11 in Roman numerals, so I mean Denny Hamlin drives the 11 car. It's pretty self-explanatory. I think it's kind of weird that XI for Denny Hamlin is what they actually went with because, well, the 11 car is a Joe Gibbs racing car, and I don't really think Denny Hamlin's going to be owning that number in NASCAR anytime soon, or at least I'm not sure about it. But anyways, this prediction's going to be not for the 2021 season, but it's going to be more so for the 2022 season. So in 2021, Bubba Wallace is driving some car number for that team. I don't know, it might be the 23. I really have no idea. Hopefully Jordan Brand will be the sponsor. That's the way things are looking. If you look at the iRacing side of everything, Casey Kerwin for the iRacing Coke Series is currently racing the number 23 with Jordan Brand as literally the main sponsor of the car, which first of all, it's really cool to get a guy like Michael Jordan involved in the sport of NASCAR. It's just unreal, unbelievable. But this instance is really reminding me of the time that Tony Stewart made his own Cup team back in, I think it was 2009. Obviously they called it Stewart Haas Racing. Tony Stewart left Joe Gibbs Racing to go race for his own team. And obviously within the first 3 years, Tony Stewart was very successful in winning a Cup Series championship. I wonder if that's something we're going to see with Bubba Wallace over at 23XI Racing, I guess is the name. Who knows, Bubba Wallace could be a future NASCAR Cup Series champion. We're talking within a few years too. Now the point I'm going to make here is maybe not in 2021, but in 2022, we could potentially see Denny Hamlin move on over from Joe Gibbs to go race for his own NASCAR race team with Michael Jordan, which would give them a two-car lineup of Bubba Wallace and Denny Hamlin. I really have no idea how this would go in terms of car numbers. I don't know if Denny Hamlin would be able to bring the number 11 with him in 2022. I'm also pretty unfamiliar with contracts. I don't even know if Denny Hamlin has a contract with Joe Gibbs Racing that goes into 2022. He very well might, and if that's the case, maybe we're talking a few more years down the line. But let's say Denny Hamlin does leave Joe Gibbs Racing to go race in his own car for his own team. Well, that would now leave Joe Gibbs Racing with 3 drivers in their Cup Series lineup. Now I'm looking down the Xfinity Series Joe Gibbs Racing lineup, and I really don't see any big names that could potentially take over a role from Denny Hamlin. Riley Herbst is really just beginning his Xfinity Series side of things. I don't know that Brandon Jones is necessarily performing well enough to deserve the 11 car or Denny Hamlin's past ride, whatever car number that may be. Harrison Burton, maybe, but we're talking 2022 in this case, so I think that would be a bit too early for him. And, well, Ty Gibbs, I'm sure almost undoubtedly will get a Cup Series ride at some point, last name being Gibbs. I mean, we've seen it with Austin Dillon, Ty Dillon. I do have to admit Ty Dillon and Austin Dillon have been pretty impressive, more so Austin Dillon, but Ty Dillon may get his chance in the future with RCR. But I mean, Ty Gibbs, the dude was literally born in 2002, so I don't know if he'll be getting a Cup ride anytime soon, especially within the next 2 years or so.
I can't thank my team enough, man. I just can't thank everybody enough. Just can't thank everybody enough. And I can't thank everybody watching, and I can't thank my family at home.
So the Joe Gibbs Racing Cup Series lineup would contain Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., and lastly, Christopher Bell. I really doubt that Joe Gibbs Racing would downgrade to a 3-car team in this case. So now it's time to move on to the potential candidates who could get that 11-car ride. The first main candidate I have, and maybe the more unrealistic one, would be Carl Edwards. Now, if I can recall correctly, I believe Carl Edwards at some point said that if he was ever going to come back to NASCAR, he would likely race for Joe Gibbs. Now, maybe you see where I'm going with this. If Joe Gibbs Racing ever has a car or a potential spot open, I think Carl Edwards might just take it, especially if you take into account the next-gen car that's coming to NASCAR very soon. I think he may just be willing to give that a shot. Now, Carl Edwards is 41 years old. We typically think of a lot of guys retiring from NASCAR in their early to mid-40s, so by that standard, he would be around that age. But Matt Kenseth is still racing in the Cup Series. He's 48 years old. Mark Martin, I think, went even later. And for the shape Carl Edwards is in, I don't think it would be a problem for him to be behind the wheel of a race car again. I know that for me personally, as a big Carl Edwards fan of the past, that is something that I would absolutely very much be looking forward to. Now the second potential candidate would be Matt DiBenedetto. I happen to be a fan of Matt DiBenedetto myself, and I think he might take over as my favorite driver once Clint Bowyer's done racing after this year. I'm not quite sure. I have a DiBenedetto shirt already, so I guess that kind of counts for something. Matt DiBenedetto is signed with the Wood Brothers through 2021, so this would make perfect sense if the number 11 car was opened in 2022. Will it be though? This whole video is pretty much just me banking on it being opened. There's no truth to me saying that Denny Hamlin's going to race for his own race team. It's just a speculation, and that speculation kind of comes from Tony Stewart joining his own team as a driver, so you never know, anything could happen. But I think if this were to happen, Matt DiBenedetto would be a huge candidate for this ride. The guy's young, he's extremely healthy, he has outperformed his equipment on many occasions. We look back at the 95 car getting second place at Bristol, leading a ton of laps at Daytona. It's performances like that that kind of opened my eyes to Matt DiBenedetto and how much potential that I kind of see in him. I think when he was racing on BK Racing or whatever the team was with the 83 car, he finished 6th place at Bristol. And even in the 21 car, I think Matt DiBenedetto's finished technically like second place 3 times. I know Talladega didn't really count. But man, for the equipment he's in, this is very impressive stuff. I think Las Vegas has been one of his best tracks too. I definitely don't see the Wood Brothers as a team that is expected to compete for wins on a week-to-week basis. Even though Ryan Blaney did it in, what year was it, 2017? I'm not really sure, at Pocono. That was really impressive, and Matt DiBenedetto is outrunning his equipment like crazy. With a number of second place finishes in his career already, it's only a matter of time before he gets his first win. And to tell you the complete truth, if Matt DiBenedetto went to Joe Gibbs Racing, I really think he would win like crazy. I don't know, I'll even throw out a bold prediction here and tell you that I think Matt DiBenedetto someday at some team will probably win a NASCAR Cup Series championship. And one thing we can't forget about is Matt DiBenedetto early in his career actually raced for Joe Gibbs Racing. And this was like very early into his racing career. I think he was 17 years old at the time. So he has that past history with Joe Gibbs Racing, and I really don't see a reason why Matt can't join the team in the future. I know Christopher Bell's going to the 20 car next season, and it could have just as easily been Matt DiBenedetto had things played out a little bit differently. I really want to know what you guys think of this prediction, because it is way out of left field, but I really want to know. Can you guys see this happening? Either Matt DiBenedetto or Carl Edwards going to the 11 car in 2022? Personally, I can kind of see it. It's just going to be in terms of Denny Hamlin's contract. I'm not familiar with it, so if he's signed a 5-year deal, then well, this video is a waste. But I am really excited to find out what will happen in the future. But I need you guys to leave your predictions down in the comment section below. I will be hearting the best ones. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. I want to do maybe a little more of these story type commentary like videos, if that makes sense. I just gotta say, I'm primarily a meme channel, so if you want to look at the end screen that's about to come up, there's going to be nearly 200 different NASCAR memes that you can go through. It's kind of like a rabbit hole. Once you watch one, you're going to want to watch more. So thanks so much for watching, you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.